Are you ready?
UFC Shanghai chaos, Walker's stunning TKO, Sterling's dominance Islam, Makhachev teases super fight. Shock rocked Shanghai when underdog Johnny Walker shattered expectations, silencing doubts with a brutal second-round finish that left the arena stunned. After suffering back-to-back knockout defeats, Walker wasn't just fighting to win, he was fighting to save his career. And when the calf kick started landing, the comeback story practically wrote itself. But Walker's redemption was only the beginning. The UFC's return to China gave fans a night packed with dominance, controversy, and redemption arcs. From Aljamain Sterling's iron-willed victory despite injury to a rookie who blurred the line between brilliance and foul play, UFC Shanghai reminded the world that sometimes the wildest drama happens when the octagon door closes far from home. And yet, just as fans celebrated, rumors began swirling outside the cage. Because Islam Makhachev, fresh off his latest triumph, just hinted at a fight that could change everything. Johnny Walker's stunning comeback. Johnny Walker walked into Shanghai with the weight of doubt hanging over him. After 2 consecutive knockout losses, many questioned if his chin or his confidence could hold up. Zhang Mingyang, China's rising star, was expected to capitalize on Walker's decline and give the hometown crowd a highlight reel finish. But Walker flipped the script. Using vicious calf kicks to chop down Zhang's base, he turned momentum in his favor. By the second round, Zhang was compromised, wobbling as his mobility disappeared. That's when Walker pounced, smashing him with ground and pound at 2:37 of round 2 for the TKO.
Referee Mark Goddard puts a halt to the fight for your winner by TKO, Johnny Walker!
The upset wasn't just a win, it was a message. Walker proved that even after back-to-back setbacks, he can still rewrite his story. But that wasn't all, because the co-main event brought an entirely different kind of dominance. Chaz. Sterling's statement. Victory. Aljamain Sterling's move to featherweight was supposed to be a tough test against Brian Ortega. Instead, it turned into a one-sided showcase. Fighting at a catch weight of 153 pounds, Sterling controlled every round, sweeping the scorecards 50-45. What made it more impressive? He did it with a damaged elbow.
This is from the spinning elbow. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty fat right here. All this is fluid. I gotta ask Lerone Murphy how he landed that spinning elbow, because I landed it and that shit ain't feel all that great, bro. You see this little titty on my arm? Y'all see this titty? That's, yeah.
Even injured, Sterling's fight IQ and grappling superiority kept Ortega on the defensive the entire night. Ortega fans hoped for a late rally, but it never came. Critics had wondered whether Sterling's bantamweight success would carry over to heavier opposition, but Shanghai answered that. Sterling looked sharp, calculated, and unbreakable, cementing his status as a legitimate contender in a new division. But listen to this. While Sterling was proving himself inside the cage, Islam Makhachev was dropping hints outside of it that shook the lightweight division. Islam Makhachev teases a super fight. In a recent press conference, Islam Makhachev was asked about Khamzat Chimaev. His response? Calm, but loaded with intrigue. Makhachev said he doesn't want conflict with Chimaev's people, but left the door open with a simple phrase, "We will see."
Кhamzat Chimaev взял титул в среднем весе. Очень интересно твое мнение о его выступлении, насколько ты был впечатлен этим. И еще Khamzat еще до этого боя сказал, что самая быстрая дорога на первую строчку pound for pound — это поединок с чемпионом в полусреднем весе. Если ты станешь чемпионом в полусреднем, ты будешь готов принять поединок с Khamzat?
Ну, сейчас, отвечая на этот вопрос, я не хочу открывать двери для всяких раздоров между нашими народами. Но посмотрим, у меня бой впереди тяжелый. Был впечатлен над доминацией. Думаю, он распределял силы, нигде не форсировал, даже в удары не вкладывался. Просто у него была цель стать чемпионом, я думаю, если...
That wasn't all. Makhachev praised Chimaev's dismantling of Dricus du Plessis, giving credit where it was due. And then came the bombshell. He admitted he's interested in a super fight with Ilia Topuria at 155. The reason this shook fans is simple. Makhachev rarely teases fights unless he knows there's traction. And the thought of Islam versus Ilia, a clash of dominance versus explosiveness, could redefine the lightweight division's future. It gets crazier when you realize this isn't just fantasy matchmaking. Speculation is running wild. Would the UFC risk merging 2 rising stars so soon? Or is this Dana White's plan to stage one of the biggest super fights in years? But while Makhachev was teasing him, story, another champion was rushing back into the spotlight far quicker than expected. Charles Oliveira shuts down retirement rumors. After a devastating knockout loss to Ilia Topuria, Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira was expected to take time off, maybe even consider his future. Instead, just 105 days later, Oliveira is already booked to headline UFC Rio on October 11th against Rafael Fiziev. Critics are furious, calling it reckless and dangerous. Coming back so soon, especially after a knockout, can jeopardize a fighter's long-term health and legacy. But Oliveira is brushing it all aside. In his own words, "No thoughts of retirement. Unlike Dustin Poirier, I still have a lot to accomplish." Is this bravery or stubbornness? For fans, it's a mix of admiration and worry. Oliveira is one of the most exciting lightweights in history, but the speed of his return has many questioning if he's gambling his health for pride. And speaking of health, another UFC legend just revealed the extreme steps he's taking to keep his body alive for one last run. Jon Jones's stem cell update. Jon Jones took to Instagram from California to share something rare: vulnerability. He admitted that years of unspoken injuries had taken a toll. While fans only hear about the major setbacks, Jones revealed he's been carrying smaller injuries into most of his fights.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Jon Jones. Just wanted to make a quick video, let you guys know how I was doing. First of all, thank you to all the fans. Thank you to everybody who's checked in with me to see how I was feeling. Obviously, very sad situation, very upset. But I've been through a lot of things in life, and injuries is a part of being an athlete. I want to thank the UFC for getting me into one of the best doctors in the country, Dr. Alan Trash. Thank you to Dr. Alan Trash.
Now, he's undergoing stem cell treatment, aiming to heal properly for what he calls his old man chapters.
Today I'm in beautiful California with my family. I just got done doing some stem cells. I usually don't complain to the fans about all the different injuries that I've had over the years. You guys usually only hear about.
In his words, "I'm healing to finish like a real badass. Great things are coming, but they take time." Dana White has been hesitant, unsure if Jones can ever be at 100%, but Jones insists he's preparing for one more run, determined to close his career on his terms. But that wasn't the only shocking storyline from Shanghai, because controversy erupted when a newcomer's spectacular debut came with a glaring foul. Nueraji's controversial debut. Taiyalake. Nueraji's UFC debut was meant to be a celebration of China's next explosive of talent, and for a brief moment he landed a dazzling first-round knockout that had fans roaring. But then came the controversy. Replay showed an illegal knee landed in the chaos, forcing the referee to deduct 2 points. Normally, that kind of foul derails a fighter's momentum, but Nueraji powered through, regrouped, and still managed to finish the fight. The crowd loved it, the officials frowned, and fans were left debating, was this a reckless rookie who got lucky, or a fearless prospect who's already dangerous despite rough edges? But listen to this, because just when fans thought they had their hero, another underdog completely stole the show. Johnson's redemption story. Charles Johnson's story reads like a fight movie. Financially struggling with doubts surrounding his future, he entered UFC Shanghai against undefeated loner Kavanaugh. On paper, he was supposed to lose. Instead, Johnson shocked the world. Unloading crisp counters and heavy hands, he knocked out Kavanaugh in dramatic fashion.
A player at flyweights. That's why I said.
The knockout didn't just end the fight, it ended Kavanaugh's perfect record. The victory earned Johnson a $50,000 bonus, but the real reward was something deeper: redemption. In one night, he went from overlooked and broke to celebrated and secure. Fans chanted his name as the underdog's Cinderella moment became the emotional peak of the event. And as the crowd roared, the UFC made it clear: Shanghai was more than a fight night. It was a statement. Rising Stars UFC's return to China. Beyond the headlines, UFC Shanghai delivered depth. Heavyweight Sergey Pavlovich stormed through his opponent with terrifying power, reminding everyone why he's one of the scariest big men alive.
seconds after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards. The judges have it 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Sergey Pavlovich!
Meanwhile, Chinese prospects like Nueraji electrified the crowd, securing wins that fueled local pride. For the UFC, this event wasn't just about fights, it was about presence. The organization's return to China marked a symbolic step, signaling growth in a region hungry for representation. The mix of global veterans and homegrown talent made Shanghai feel like more than a card. It felt like a turning point. From Walker's shocking rebirth in Shanghai, to Sterling's dominance, Makhachev's super fight tease, Oliveira's risky comeback, Jones's healing journey, Nueraji's controversy, Johnson's redemption, and Pavlovich's thunderous reminder, UFC's return to China was a statement that every fight tells a story. And when Islam Makhachev drops hints of super fights while the world debates who's next, one thing becomes clear: MMA never slows down. If this week's chaos is just the beginning, the months ahead could reshape everything we know about the fight game. So buckle up, because the story is only getting started.